a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Hishain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Trade unions of state banks urge Prime Minister to reduce the interest rate on bank loans. Subject experts stress the need to restructure ICT sector. News in detail. Government assures that it will pay its attention on sending only the skilled and trained individuals for overseas employment following the guidelines put forward by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa declaring the coming 10 years as of the decade of skills development in Sri Lanka. Senior consultant of the Information and Communication Technology Agency, Indika de Souza, joining a media briefing at the Government Information Department this morning, revealed the country's plan for the revival of the information and communication technology sector.
අපි දැනට මේ තොරතුරු තාක්ෂණ කියන මේ ව්‍යුහය තුල විතරක් 1,25,000කට අධික ප්‍රමාණයක් රැකියා කරනවා. අපිට විදේශ ආදායම ඩොලර් බිලියන 1.5ක් දැනට අපිට ලැබෙනවා. අපි 2025 දී බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ වැඩ කරන ප්‍රමාණය 3 ලක්ෂයක් දක්වා වැඩි කරන්න. එතකොට අපිට ඕන ICT skills තියෙන අය ලක්ෂ 3ක් 2025. එතකොට අපේ මේ ආදායම බිලියන 3කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයකට යන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. එතකොට අපිට මේ ඉලක්කයට යන්න බෑ අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරන ස්කිල් එක. නැත්නම් ඒ අවශ්‍ය කරන දැනුම තියෙන අය, නිපුණතාවය තියෙන අය අපිට වෙළඳ පොළට ආවේ නැත්නම් අධ්‍යාපන ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨය තුලින්. හැබැයි අද ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්නේ 9000ක් විතර. හැබැයි අපිට 20000කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ 2020 ඇතුළත ඕනේ. එතකොට අපිට එතනම ලොකු ગેප් එකක් තියෙනවා. අපි දැන් බලන්නේ මේ ગેප් එක කොහොමද ෆුල්ෆිල් කරන්නේ කියන එක.
Trade unions of state sector banks proposed Prime Minister Mahida Rajapaksa to consider the possibilities of reducing the present interest rates on bank loans. Trade unions brought this request to the Prime Minister during a meeting held with the Premier at Temple Trees this morning. Several trade unions from state sector banks met Prime Minister Mahida Rajapaksa and Treasury officials to look for the solutions for some issues they were facing for a long time. Trade unions had pointed out that it was Premier Rajapaksa who intervened in 2014 to reinstate a annulled pension scheme for the bank employees of the state sector. Accordingly, trade unions have requested the Premier to increase the pension benefits given for the banking sector and at the several other states' banks which are not included into the pension benefits. Representatives from the trade unions have also requested the Prime Minister to bring down more the present interest rates on loans by the general public. The statement issued by the Prime Minister's office stated that the Premier directed the Finance Ministry Secretary S.R. Artigala to work on the issues and brief him over the solutions that could be taken. The latest reports by the central bank says that water security has become a serious concern in Sri Lanka amidst erratic weather patterns and increasing demand for water. The same factor prompts the need for urgent implementation of improved water management strategies, including drip irrigation systems and rainwater harvesting techniques in the country. According to the Central Bank Annual Report, the mean annual average rainfall of the country is around 2,000 millimeters, higher than the average rainfall received by most water-stressed countries. However, the average rainfall statistics of the country mask the spatial and temporal water scarcity issues that arise mainly due to the bi-monsoonal rainfall pattern. The report further says that the country's dry zone, which covers more than 60% of the land area, is prone to water scarcity with a mean annual average rainfall of less than 1,750 millimeters, with distinct dry periods prevailing from May to September each year. Agriculture is the largest water-consuming activity in the country, while the demand for water for other activities such as household consumption, industrial activities and hydropower generation is also on the rise. Meanwhile, the heavy use of agrochemicals and fertilizer has resulted in groundwater pollution in certain areas of the country. Central Bank report also highlights that about one-half of the precipitation received by the country flows into the sea without being utilized for any productive activity. According to the verified data, report says that the relatively large rivers such as Gin, Kalani, Kalu release about 60 to 70% of its water to the sea, while relatively small rivers such as Kalaoya, Yan Oya and Malvat Oya release about 20% of its water to the sea. Therefore, the report suggests that a well-coordinated, comprehensive water management policy needs to be implemented with the support of all stakeholders to ensure that water resources are better preserved and water security in the country is safeguarded. The report also raises the concern of a significant burden on the government budget created by the country's vulnerability to climate change risk. Accordingly, central bank suggests that the financial institutions should actively consider pursuing green finance initiatives that support environment-friendly, sustainable business models while offering products for businesses and individuals to protect themselves from climate risks from a financial perspective. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau states that 26 million rupees has been paid as installments to the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation to ensure employees working abroad for the first 2 quarters of this year. In the meantime, the compensation amount paid for a case of a natural death of a migrant worker was also increased by 100,000 rupees and will also be paid for the victims of COVID-19 in abroad. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau has taken measures to modify the current insurance policy implemented for foreign employees, ensuring them more benefits. The amended program, carried out jointly by the SLFEB and the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, will offer more benefits to beneficiaries and compensation coupled with a pension scheme. SLFEB Chairman Kamal Ratwatta told that following the coronavirus outbreak, 10.8 million rupees has been paid to Sri Lankan foreign missions established in 18 countries to provide food to Sri Lankan foreign employees affected by the pandemic. Moreover, it was said that 40 Sri Lankans who had migrated abroad for employment have died of COVID-19 as per the information of the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment. Among the deceased are 37 males and 3 females. As per an agreement in 2019, compensation of 500,000 rupees paid by the government during the case of a natural death of a migrant worker is also valid for a death by COVID-19 infection, the chairman added. Moreover, the compensation has been increased up to 600,000 rupees for those who had registered with the Bureau after March 16, 2020. Bringing you the weekly analysis on the trading of the stock market, First Capital Holdings highlights that the stock market remained mostly positive during the week. Moreover, First Capital Holdings is confident on the gradual recovery in the market along with the liquidity levels in the market with the reduction of the statutory reserve ratio.
During the week, stock market mainly remained positive, supported by the low yields in the bond market. At the bill auction held on 15th Wednesday, for the first time in history, all 3 treasury bills accepted below 5% mark, and this positively affected the stock market sentiment. During the week, banking, capital goods sector contributed mostly to the turnover, while on 13th Monday, a market experienced net foreign inflow, although year-to-date net foreign outflow surpassed 22 billion. We expect a gradual recovery in the market driven by the plunging bond yields and with the higher liquidity levels from the recent SRR cut and the policy rate cut. Foreigners may continue to be on selling side, although strong buying interest from retailers is likely to absorb the impact. We expect continued buying interest mostly on the banking sector counters, considering the fact that banks are trading well below the net asset value.
Open University Teachers Association of Sri Lanka stresses that there has been a serious reduction of the funding received by the university from the Treasury. Addressing a media briefing held in Colombo today, the Open University Teachers Association of Sri Lanka highlights that even though it has been spending its own reserves earned through the student fees to cover the shortfall, the Open University is no longer in a position to do so.
The Open University is currently facing a severe threat. For the past 1 year, we have not been receiving the full amount of funding that we should be receiving from the state. We are part of the national university system and we get capital and recurrent expenses are met by the Treasury. And for the past 1 year, this has been gradually and systematically reduced to a point where at the moment, for the past several months, what was a basic agreement with the state that the Treasury will meet the cost of the permanent cadre of the university, academic and non-academic. We are now in a position where even the salaries are not being met by the Treasury. There's a 40 million deficit on a monthly basis to meeting the salaries of our permanent staff, both academic and non-academic. This is a very serious situation. We see this as not just a threat to the Open University and the survival of the Open University, which is the Open University plays a significant role and a unique role in the higher education system of this country as the only open distance learning state institution catering to a vast population.
Stay tuned for stock updates. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 34.96 points to close at 4,988.50, and the S&P SL20 gained 26.87 points to close at 2,153.50. The turnover was 932 million rupees and over 35 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with BIS Roundup at 8:30 p.m. Until then, take care. Good night.